once it hits 11.
It's hot out today.
Yeah. I don't think the AC reaches the water. The news just talks about how it's like record heat all the time. It's normal. Go ahead. It does not feel like that to me. All right. Thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Colin, and today Market has the pleasure of having Wisetack with us live. Available to free and paid members of Market, Wisetack is your preferred method, your preferred consumer financing solution to help close jobs and boost sales. So today we're teaming up to provide Market pros with a guide on how to use Wisetack through the Market platform and what we're calling Wisetack 101. So thank you, Scott and Josh, for joining me today. And please introduce yourselves, and thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Super excited to be here. I'm Josh. Work on the partnerships team at Wisetack. I focus on our new partnerships in the home services vertical.
And I'm Scott Kennedy. Colin, thanks for having us today. And I work at Wisetack on the partnerships team, helping to manage our current partners, such as Market, and ensuring that we have a great financing option available to your pros and the pros' customers.
Fantastic. So if you could tell me a little bit more about what Wisetack is and how it works.
For sure. So we are a consumer financing tool, as I think you mentioned briefly. And basically our goal is to make offering financing to contractors' customers as easy as offering payments, and just making it a super simple option, both on the contractor end and on the homeowner end, to again have that easy, attractive consumer financing available on your jobs and help close work.
Yeah, and I can add, so specifically with Market, once you're set up with Wisetack, Wisetack automatically appears throughout the sales cycle. So as a pro, you have the ability to send what we call a prequalification application to customers straight from the customer profile. In addition to that, Wisetack will also automatically show up on estimates and invoices anytime that total amount is between $500 and $25,000. So anytime a customer receives an estimate, they'll see Wisetack as an option, and they can get pre-qualified for a Wisetack loan. And then as soon as that job is completed and an invoice is sent to the customer, they'll again see Wisetack, be able to go through that application and take out a loan and pay for the job through financing straight from the invoice. So it's something that's really, once the pro is set up with it, they don't have to worry about it. They send it out, make their customers know that financing is available, and the customer will just automatically be able to see that and go through the process from there.
Thank you both for that. So now that we know a little bit more about what Wisetack is and how it works, a lot of you might want to know how to set it up. So what you want to do is you want to log into your Market account, head over to the settings page. You'll find yourself on the online payments section. Go ahead and click the setup button for Wisetack, and then start filling out a business application for that. So what does the process look for that during the business application?
So the business application is all electronic, very quick and easy to fill out, requires some information about the business, about the owners and executives of the business. And then the final step is actually linking the bank account so that once they're set up and a customer goes to that loan, Wisetack is able to pay the pro direct deposit into their bank account.
Sounds like a pretty simple setup. So following a pro's application, how and when will the pro get paid?
Yeah, great question. Obviously a really important part of this whole process. And as I just mentioned, in the application setup, you link a bank account so that Wisetack is able to pay the pro. And so when this comes up is as soon as the job is completed and the customer goes through the loan application, selects their offer that they're comfortable with, and the job is complete, they'll release payment. And then Wisetack will send money directly to the pro via ACH, and the funds are received within 1 to 3 business days. And then Wisetack takes it from there with the customer, and the customer pays back Wisetack over time. So it's a great deal where the pro gets paid as soon as the job is complete, and then the customer can pay back over time.
Fantastic. Definitely short and simple, and that's the most important part. So is there any customer-pro interaction following that? Any information shared between the two? Or
Nope. It's all hands-off. Pros don't have to worry about collecting any sensitive information from the customer. It's really separate so that customers can go through this financing application on their own, in their own privacy, and really select whatever option is best for them. Pros don't have to worry about handling all that financial sensitive information.
Fantastic. Awesome. So once a customer receives an invoice from a pro, what would that look like for the customer that chooses the finance?
Yeah, so from a customer standpoint, the loan application is super quick and easy. Takes 1 to 2 minutes to complete. Really basic information. If they're approved for the loan, then they're going to see multiple loan offers. They'll always see a range of offers with a range of loan terms as well as APRs, and they can review that and select which one best fits their budget and financial situation. And as soon as they select that, as I mentioned before, as soon as the job is complete, then they sign off and release the payment, and then their loan starts from there, and the pro receives the funds the next day.
Awesome. Now, I know a common thing with payment processors is a transaction fee. Does Wisetack offer any transaction fee? Or do they charge any transaction fee?
Yeah, so I can jump in. It's a flat 3.9% processing fee. So it's going to be always that 3.9%, no matter what the size of the loan is, what term length, what APR the borrower chooses. That's all on them. Always going to be that 3.9%. And yeah, we know it's a little bit higher than credit card processing, and that's fine. That's it's a different offering, and it's the kind of thing that really is going to help you close more sales, win more jobs, and sell larger jobs that might be better for the consumer and better for your business at the end of the day. So it is there, the fee exists, but again, it's there to help you close more jobs on those larger projects.
Yeah, but if I can jump in, when talking about the other payment providers and the fees associated with that, the great thing about Wisetack and consumer financing is that it can be more of a sales tool, not just a payment option. And what I described earlier about where Wisetack shows up throughout the sales cycle, that's the way that pros can really leverage financing to win more jobs and boost their revenue, which is where they can really cover that transaction fee over time, thinking of it more as a sales tool, not just a payment option.
Yeah, I think something we've heard a lot from contractors is the first time you close a job that you can attribute to Wistack is going to be the last time you think about that 3.9% processing fee.
Yeah, I'd say definitely closing more of those jobs you'll definitely forget about that transaction fee throughout that time.
Absolutely.
So I can already see a lot of benefits of offering consumer financing. So definitely cutting down on overdue invoices. I'd like to hear a little bit more about from you guys. So maybe like a benefit to financing.
For sure. So I think that closing more jobs at the end of the day, that's really where we come in and can be valuable. The two most classic use cases that we've seen, particularly from contracting businesses, is if you know that your client is going to be seeing multiple quotes at similar price points from a bunch of different contractors, really any vertical, having that financing right off the bat that you can offer, that's going to help you differentiate yourself from the crowd. And it really does, even if the consumer doesn't take it, it's something that differentiates you, shows that you care about consumers, and that you've got that flexibility. That, of course, is super important in a homeowner-contractor relationship. The other area that we see a lot of contractors using us is the kind of good, better, best proposals, where you might be going in for repair and you say, hey, I can fix this, but I'll be back every 6 months till the end of time until you replace it. It would actually be cheaper for you to just do the replacement up front, but people might not have the cash on hand. So if you're able to turn that job into more of a replacement than a repair, that's super helpful. Obviously, good for business, good for the consumer. Wistack is great at facilitating that type of transaction.
And I can piggyback on that. So on that kind of proposal situation that Josh just talked about, that's a great time to send out that pre-qualification link. So as I mentioned before, on that customer profile page, you can send out just a text message with a pre-qualification link. And so as they're looking at that good, better, best options, they'll know if they're pre-qualified for financing. So that's another benefit. There's benefits for the pros, benefits then for the customer. They have a peace of mind early on in the process on how they're going to be able to afford some of these more expensive jobs if they are pre-qualified and know that they have financing available. In addition to that, it also allows them to consider these other options. And if they're pre-qualified for a certain amount, they might take a more expensive job because they have that available to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've seen that just having that pre-qualification, that peace of mind from the homeowner, really does change the conversation that they're having with their contractor, particularly when it happens early on in the process.
Yeah. Well, so I could definitely see the benefit to it. What would you say for business owners that think maybe their clients wouldn't want financing options, or they might find that they wouldn't want that?
Yeah. So the first thing I'd say is you never know. People are putting stuff on credit cards. You don't know when they're paying that back. You never know who's going to be interested in financing, particularly because we're offering some pretty attractive rates, and We're not doing late fees or prepayment penalties, and this is not deferred interest. So nobody's going to get mad at you for giving them more choices. They don't have to take it. There's nothing, when they look at the pre-qualification link, they're not bound to do anything. But just having those choices for them is something that we've seen that homeowners across the spectrum, across verticals, across neighborhoods, across states, people appreciate that. People want choices. And financing is everywhere these days. You can't go online and buy a sweatshirt without somebody without having an option to break it up into payments. People are kind of coming to expect that for their transactions. And offline ones are really no different. So we're there to give them the choices. Nobody has to do anything. People like to see different options when they come.
Yeah, and what's really great, and we talked about in our partnership with Market, the way that Wisetack works, where it's automatically embedded on these estimates and invoices, it doesn't have to be, a back and forth conversation about financing. Simply let customers know that financing is available. If they're interested, they'll see it on their estimate or invoice, and then they can handle it, like I mentioned before, in their own privacy at their own time, if it is something that they want. But to Josh's point, people love choices, and you also just never know who might be interested in leveraging financing.
Absolutely. Certainly myself, I do love a ton of choices. Well, thank you guys so much. This is all terrific information from both of you. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of questions our pros might have. So Lauren has been in the behind the scenes monitoring chat for any questions. So Lauren, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah. What does it mean when you said there's no deferred interest?
Yeah, so with Wisetack, our loans are simple interest. So there's no hidden fees, like Josh mentioned, no late fees, but there's also no deferred interest. So there are some other products out there that will have some sort of promotion that says 0% for 18 months. And then if the loan's not paid back in that 18 months, some wicked high APR is going to kick in that a lot of times might catch customers off guard. With Wisetack, it's super transparent when a customer takes a loan on exactly what the terms are and what the interest is that they're going to pay. And so we try to be super transparent and have these simple loans that customers will understand. So there's no confusion and not catching them off guard.
And that's feedback that we've gotten from borrowers, consumers. I can't believe it really is what you say it is. And that there's no surprises here. So that's something we strive to do. We're really proud of that. And that's reflected in our interest rates.
So definitely what you see is what you're going to get.
What you see is what you get.
No hidden little text or anything.
Great way to put it.
Fantastic.
Another question pros always have is this going to impact my customer's credit score?
Great question. So the answer is no. When applying for a Wisetack loan, Wisetack is what we call a soft credit check as opposed to a hard credit check. And so a soft credit check does not have a ding on a customer's credit. So checking their options does not impact their credit. Other financier companies, they do a hard credit check, which does ding the credit, the customer's credit, just seeing their options. That being said, once a customer actually takes out a Wisetack loan, that does get reported back to the credit bureaus. However, if they make timely payments, that's a way that they can actually improve their credit score.
Awesome. So it's definitely good to let your customers know that. Then.
For sure.
And to wrap this up, one last time, how can Market users find Wisetack in the app and sign
So
up?
it's always available to you during the going to the settings. And in settings, the first page you'll be brought to is online payments, where you can set up a Wisetack. Just make sure to not turn off Wisetack once you turn it on. You're all set to go. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for joining.
Have a good day and goodbye.